Um, Without wishing to go into too much detail on the weekend's game, when you've got so little time to prepare, do you concentrate on emphasising the good things that you've done in a game, or is it all about trying to counteract and deal with and improve on the things that you've not been happy with?
Want me to be miserable?
You were on Saturday.
I know I was, yeah. Very remiss of me though. Saturday you're disappointed because that was, as I said on Saturday, first goal should have been the winner for anyone. It's difficult to score in them conditions. And when you analyse it back, it's the conditions like that, it's a complete flip of the coin, what happens in the game. And, if you see how fortuitous their goal was, two of our players ended up on the floor, it gets a nick off someone, which takes the trajectory away from Seamus and comes off his knee and goes in. You couldn't make it up, but you could argue that, our goal was like a bit of bed tennis before Seamus has volleyed it in, so. And it was always going to be one of them days. Hopefully the wind will have dropped for Tuesday, because I think that was the key factor. And it'll be a totally different game. The team who plays a totally different system and style of football. And we've got to get ourselves tuned into that, get back to the way we know we can play. We've got the balance now between keeping players fit or fresh, and at this moment in time, they're doing all the fitness work on the pitch. They're doing extremely well, in my opinion. And games like that, where they're difficult, everyone's expecting a moment of magic somewhere, or, I think if there was fans there, we would have had a bit of a moan stand moment there, where people think that you can stop the wind and play in spite of it, when it's very, very difficult to do so. People should take a reality check sometimes. And not, we've got our expectations of ourselves, but you've got to be realistic. And Saturday's game, it was virtually impossible to play football. And if the wind had gone any worse, it might have been a case of calling it off, because it was getting pathetic. When the ball's blowing away from 5 people in the same incident, and none of them are expecting it, when it's practically impossible to take a dead ball kick because the wind's blowing the ball away, it is borderline a reason to call it off. So we're doing okay, and we're very disappointed that we didn't win the game. We could have easily lost it. And they had a couple of good chances in the first half and played some decent football in the first half. Second half, I think they handled the win not as poorly as us, worse than us in the second half. They kicked the ball long to us and made little or no progress, which is what I always expected. I thought both teams would play better against the wind, and that proved to be the case.
You've been disappointed with not winning games before recently, and then you went to somewhere as difficult as Doncaster, who've got, I think, the second best home record in the league, and got a victory. Can you take inspiration from that ahead of going to Crewe?
I think I can take inspiration from the fact that the players have got a lot of belief in themselves at the moment, and we know we can go anywhere and perform. But it's not a given that you are allowed to perform. You can't legislate for how the other team play. Sometimes they'll play really good football, they'll be really up for the game, they'll try the best to match you. What we've got to do is we've got to try and go the extra yard again. And I know we've got in our locker to do that, but it's going to be a very, very tough game. One of the best teams in the league, I think, the way they play the football, Crewe. And I remember the cup exit last year, where they were very good value for the 2-0. Well, in the first half they were anyway. And when they get their groove, when they're playing, they're difficult to stop. So that'll be a test for us, but we know we're difficult to stop when we get a goal.
Does that style of play suit you? Do you enjoy playing against teams that play that way?
I don't so much whether it suits us. It's a better game to watch, and I think the Plymouth games were good to watch. Two teams who play open football. The Donny game was a good game to watch. But you can't dictate how other teams play. You know, you can't say please play like this so we can enjoy the game. We've got a style of football that we play, and I think we're getting the balance quite right now. You know, in between going long and going short, I think we've got that balance just right. You know, we've got a cracking set of lads in there, and lads who are chomping up the bit to get in the team as well.
You've been through the season already. How difficult is it, how big is it to do the double over a team, especially in probably the most inconsistent season on record?
Very difficult, isn't it? We've done the double over any moment. Having said that, we're only playing the second time around, I suppose, but yeah, it is very difficult, but we'll give it a best shot and we'll try and win. As I said when we went to Lincoln, we don't go anywhere to try and draw, we always go to try and win, especially in our league. And any league you're in, you should be believing that you can win, otherwise you shouldn't be in the league. And what has materialised this year is that there's no easy games. Everyone's capable of beating each other. You've just got to try and keep that scoreboard ticking over with points getting accumulated. On another day we could have lost the game Saturday, at least we've got a point. But too many draws will hamper you trying to be successful. And that's ultimately what we want to do, is have a successful season which would lead to promotion.
Is there a lot to admire in Crewe Alexandra? You've talked about the style of play, but also in that ethos of bringing young players through and that academy that they've got there.
Yeah, I don't think it's as prevalent as what it was. But Dave's got a good style of football, good character. I like his approach to footy. I like crossing swords him as well. You know, it's a good little bit of banter on the sideline as well. And he's done it remarkably well. And he's young enough, maybe to fill one of these head coach roles that people keep talking about.
He's a really educated guy, isn't he? He's kind of a little bit different to what you might expect from that stereotype.
Yeah, well, we all try and educate ourselves, don't we? Well, you should do. And it doesn't have to be academically that you do that. No, I just like his manner. I like the way he goes about his business, and as I said, he's young enough to climb up the ladder and you know, fit in with what people are looking for, which is these days now as head coaches.
How's your personnel looking?
Quite good, yeah. Paul Smith isn't too bad, so we're hoping he's going to be fit. Just one or two knocks now, and we're just going to be careful with them. Training them big suits that you don't get hit, or cotton wool. No, it's, you know, we won't have to do much fitness work today, that's for sure. Just maybe a bit of stretching and go through their method of play and our method of play to try and counteract it.
Is Joe Pritchard back training?
He's doing some light running, I think by the end of the week he'll be thrown back into play.
And Sean McConville back in the mix after his back?
Yeah, Sean's back, yeah.